Good evening, I'm Willard Cheng, sitting in for Pinky Webb. Tonight, we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. After a 5-month delay, the confirmation of charges hearing on former President Rodrigo Duterte is now underway at the International Criminal Court. This is a key pre-trial stage that will determine whether his crimes against humanity case proceeds to a full trial. Pinky Webb is monitoring developments in The Hague, the Netherlands, and she joins us now for updates. Pinky, what's the latest?
Hi, Willard. The latest is that real-time defense lead counsel, Attorney Nicholas Kaufman, has just finished his opening statement. But then again, for those who are watching via the social media channels of the ICC, what you will be seeing is still the opening statement of Attorney Nicholas Kaufman. Yung kasama po natin dito na si Kevin Manalo was there at the gallery watching it live, and basically we'll get more updates from Kevin a little later on regarding the opening statement of Attorney Kaufman. But from what I understand, he was saying that all these allegations are an exaggeration at ganyan lang talaga magsalita si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Also, Attorney Joel Butuyan of the CLRV, of the Common Legal Representatives of the Victims also ended his opening remarks. They actually represent hundreds of victim participants. He explained the spread of impunity in the Philippines. He also talked about what he calls Duterte clones or mini Dutertes, where they need to be vaccinated with the truth. Hence, Attorney Butuyan was saying the charges should be confirmed. What is the role really of the CLRVs is to express to the court how their families have suffered due to the war on drugs because of the death of their loved ones. Also earlier, Willard, the court also heard the opening statement of Deputy Prosecutor Mame Nyang, and he stressed that former President Rodrigo Duterte played a pivotal role in the charged crimes, and that this day actually marks an important day for international justice for the Philippines and for the victims. Let's listen.
Your Honor, while this court cannot reunite victim with their loved one, it can help reveal the truth about what happened to them and bring a sense of justice to the victim. The charges before you today are serious, and the evidence submitted require their confirmation. And Mr. Duterte must be held to account, and this case should be confirmed for trial. It is also a reminder that those in power are not above the law.
All right, Willard, right now we are on a break, and with me is the former spokesperson of the former president and also former chief presidential legal counsel, Attorney Salvador Panelo, who was in the gallery. Kumbaga sila yung nakapanood real-time sa mga kaganapan. Attorney Sal, kamusta po?
But not no.
Inaantok. Okay, what did you think of the opening remarks, sir?
Well, it's a rehash of the propaganda they've been dishing all these years against the former president.
Yung pong narration,
Yes.
from what I saw kay Attorney Joel Butuyan, marami po siyang ninarrate kung papaano nangyari yung war on drugs, how the family suffered, how evidence was being planted and all of that he was intimating to the court. What did you think of those?
Nothing new naman yun eh. Puro naman mga spekulasyon, puro hearsay, puro walang ebidensya. Paulit-ulit lang yun.
What did you think of the opening remarks of Attorney Nicholas Kaufman?
Ay, sinagot niya naman lahat. I think bawat punto ng prosecution, sinagot niya. klaro naman.
What were the strong points, you think, of the opening statements
Ng prosecution? O nung-
of Attorney Kaufman?
Sinagot niya nga eh. Every point raised by the other side, sinagot niya lahat eh. Pati nga yung mga speeches, 45 pa. Sabi niya, as against you, 10, yung sa amin, 45. Doon lang, huli na sila ron.
Can you elaborate on that more, Attorney, yung 10 and 45?
Hindi, kasi dun sa mga speeches na sinasabi nila, yung mga hyperbole ni Presidente Duterte, tinatago nila yung, kasi ang style ni Presidente Duterte, meron nga siyang mga pananakot. Pero at the end of the speech, sinasabi niya yung, kaya nangyayari yan, kasi nga, the law enforcement's lives were at stake, at the risk. Kaya napapatay sila, kasi lumalaban nga.
Pero diniin din ni Attorney Joel Butuyan yung nanlaban. Di ba? Yung issue ng nanlaban. Na palaging pinapalabas na nanlaban, pero helpless naman umano yung mga biktima.
Pero hindi naman nila napapatunayan yan. Yan ang claim nila. The relatives, siyempre, dahil kamag-anak nila, will never say na lumaban ang kanilang mga kamag-anak. But the record shows na talagang lumaban nga. At kung hindi naman, di ba, pinanosecute nga siya doon sa kaso ni De Los Santos.
Kia.
Ang pinakahalaga doon, yung Sony speech, yun ang una kong defense kay Presidente Duterte noon.
Which is?
Na kinote ni Kaufman, na sinasabi niya na, I will support you, but you abuse your authority, that will be held to pay. Yun nga, paulit-ulit ko nung ko pa sinasabi yun.
Alright, so break po tayo ngayon, 90 minutes, and then are you still staying for the submission of the merits of the
All right,
prosecution?
that's why I'm here.
Papanoorin niyo po. Attorney Panelo, is the family here of the former president?
I haven't seen any one of them, but I understand. I talked with Inday Sara before I came. Hindi raw siya darating.
Hindi raw.
Hindi raw. Ewan kung hindi naman niya pinaliwanag kung bakit.
Maybe as a last question, Attorney Panelo, ano ho ba talaga yung inyong...
Teka muna. Kaya siguro hindi siya darating kasi hindi naman niya makakausap dahil may rules, di ba?
May lumabas po yung notice to the
Na
public
hindi
that
rin
there
nila
will be no
makikita
scheduled...
kaya useless din.
Actually, we were asking about that dun sa ICC spokesperson, but there are personal matters that they don't really want to delve into. Important to note, kasi nga na-mention Attorney Salvador Panelo, Medialdea, Bello, Lim, and others, hindi ho ba? What exactly is your role? Because you were mentioned by Attorney Kaufman during, in the early part of the day, sir, in the court.
I didn't hear that. Anyway, our role, the lawyers who are here now, is to observe. We want to hear exactly what is happening, the procedure, and the presentation of the prosecution, as well as the defense. Yan ang papel namin. And then after that, we will meet, and then we will provide ourselves with insights and
To share
resolve,
to Attorney Kaufman.
and then we will have to meet the other side of the defense.
Sina Attorney Kaufman. Parang ganun po.
After this,
Opo.
pag natapos
Exactly who's part of the team, sir?
which one? Sa,
Yung sa inyo pa, yung Filipino lawyers.
yung mga binanggit niya kanina.
And who was present kanina in the gathering
Lahat.
with you?
Kaming
Everyone
lahat.
was there,
Yeah.
also ES?
Kaming anim.
I see. All right, so Willard, that's the latest.
Thank you so much, Pinky, for that update, reporting to us live from The Hague in the Netherlands. Thank you. We'll just take a short break, and when we return, we'll speak with new NBI Director Attorney Melvin Matibag. Stay tuned. This is On Point. Welcome back. From being a member of the Duterte cabinet, Attorney Melvin Matibag has been appointed by President Bongbong Marcos to lead the National Bureau of Investigation. What led to the change in leadership, and how can a known former Duterte ally ensure independence and fairness in probes? Let's get on point with NBI Chief Attorney Melvin Matibag. Good evening, sir, and thank you for your time.
Good evening, Willard, and good evening to all your televiewers. Salamat.
Firstly, congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you po. Salamat po. At siguro, good luck din.
Good
Dahil
luck.
marami tayong kailangang ayusin ngayon.
And today is your first
First
full
day,
in
the
office.
turnover was done this morning.
What are your priorities, sir, as the new NBI Director?
Well, may marching order yung ating presidente, no, si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, to address yung mga criminality natin And of course, to enhance yung credibility ng ating bureau. And in a general sense is to make the NBI closer to the masses, to the people. So based on that, dun mag-iikot yung ating mga programa na gagawin sa National Bureau of Investigation.
In what way, sir, na dapat mailapit sa masa ang NBI?
Well, let's put in the most simple na bagay, no? Most simple thing is the NBI clearance, hindi ba? Kasi yung NBI clearance, lahat tayo, we have experience of getting that, going on a long line, tapos galing probinsya. And I have to mention yung OFW. Kanina, I was talking to one of the directors of MECO, na yung problema pala nila, they want sana that sa Taiwan, yung office nila doon, magkaroon sana ng way to secure the NBI clearance for the OFWs natin. So, sakto lang pagdating ko, there's a plan already to modernize it, and I will really support it para siguro maka-catch up tayo sa technology natin na hindi na paper, we use QR code that can be printable. So we're finding ways. Yun yung isa sa mga agenda natin na tinutugunan ngayon.
Na para pabilisin ang proseso.
Pabilisin yung proseso, at saka yung, I don't know if you experience that, but a lot of our countrymen experience that yung same name, that they will have a hit, and they need the clearance already, then you have to go back counting from 5 to 20 days bago ma-clear maayos. So we'll address those things para medyo naman mapaglingkuran natin yung publiko in a simplest way. But on the larger scale, siguro yung criminality, to address it, we have to make our people safe na kahit nasang lugar sila, meron silang safety. We address criminality, illegal gambling, yung mga illegal drugs, and of course, corruption is also one of the top in the agenda of the National Bureau of Investigation.
At balikan lang namin, Attorney Mel.
Opo.
How were you offered this post? Who approached you and when?
No, actually, I have to be very honest. No, nung I was with the PDP Laban before, I was the Secretary General. And if you recall, in 2022, PDP Laban campaigned for the unit team. We campaigned for the President Bongbong Marcos and the Vice President Sara Duterte. And after no campaign, election, then my term ends as a cabinet secretary, immediately nag-apply naman talaga ako. I offered my services to the new administration na makatulong sa bagong administration. Pero for some reason, hindi pa ako natawagan, hindi ako na-invite. Although there are sometimes na parang doon ka na tapos hindi natutuloy. Minsan ako yung hindi pwede, minsan hindi na available. So, alam mo, Willard, I think the stars aligned this time na sumakto lang na siguro available yung position, tapos kailangan siguro ng fresh na bago doon sa bureau, and natapat sa atin. But to be totally honest, yung law enforcement is one of my dream job. Bago ako nag-lawyer, actually, I want to join the Philippine Military Academy before. Pero what happened to me was have injury and accident that I cannot have physical strain. So, hindi natuloy. So, ngayon, parang perfect. 2026. Eto, natawag tayo to serve as the Director of NBI.
Bali, 2022 pa lang, sir.
I want to
NBI
serve.
post na
I want
inyong
to,
in-applyan?
no, it's among others, no? Among others. There are other positions that, I'm sorry, I don't think I have to mention it anyway, pero sabihin, I want to join the government services even before.
And you also applied for the ombudsman post
Yes,
last
that's right.
year.
That's right.
Why did you want to become an ombudsman then?
Well, yun na nga, I'm glad ko siguro is for government services. Both my parents, they came from, they're both government worker. So baka nasa lahi talaga namin. And parang I think I have ideas that I want to address the issues ng corruption. At that time, kaya naisip ko yung ombudsman, our corruption perception index from the time of the then ombudsman, medyo bumaba talaga from the time ni Ombudsman Carpio Morales. So parang sabi ko, I want to help along that way, and parang I have ideas that I can put in place, which I know that I can also apply dito sa National Bureau of Investigation.
Okay. You are also known for your previous ties with former President Duterte, and you were even named as acting Cabinet Secretary in 2022, and you also served, apart from that, as Secretary General of PDP Laban. Did you regret, or do you regret supporting the former President?
No, at that time, I think what I did, ginawa ko yung mandate ko. I was with Transco. Bago ako nag-cabinet secretary, I helped the government to address yung mga issue sa energy sector. I think nababalita nun, I was guest also here because of my issue with the concessionaire noon, na gusto ko sana that the systems operation should go back to the government because it's a vital facilities. So, yun yung ginawa ko service. So, I don't think I will regret it because this time, na-put on the limelight yan at tinitingnan ngayon ng ating gobyerno. And this time, yung sinasabi ko that the government should have stake in the transmission business, pumasok yung Maharlika, di ba? So, tingin ko, I have no regrets. Tapos yung PDP laban naman, I served them well. Nagkaroon ng labanan yung Pimentel wing and the Duterte wing. And now it's the Duterte wing who controlled it. I lawyered for that. I fought for it. So, I think binigyan tayo ng role. When we're given a role, ginagawa natin sa abot ng makakaya natin that we will deliver the result that is needed.
Attorney Mel, can you say that you have shifted your alliance to President Bongbong Marcos?
Well, from the start naman, even during the campaign, I'm really supporting BBM. Kung maalala nyo noon, it was a juice. Yung PDP laban declared the support to the unit team only on March 22, 2022, a day before the local campaign starts. And instrumental to that is kami ni Secretary Benar Abalos. We are fraternity brothers. We arrange it. That the PDP laban, ang daming kandidato namin na locals noon eh. So, kung sabihin mong shifted, I supported the Duterte administration nung ako ay cabinet secretary because that is the mandate given to me. We want the administration to succeed. But during the campaign, politically, when I'm wearing the hat of a PDP Laban Secgen, ang tinula ko talaga is to support President Bongbong Marcos to be the next president. And siguro this is the time also to reveal na ako naman, I serve other president also. I serve President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo as the general manager ng airport and sa LLDA din. And ito mas revelation. That's why I know Ma'am Corina because 2016 campaign, I was campaigning for Secretary Barrojas, not for President Duterte. But when President Duterte was, ex-President Duterte was elected, ang sistema ko kasi I want to support the mandate. I have to respect the mandate. Because the success of that administration redounds to the success of every Filipino also.
And what's your political party now, sir?
Wala po. Wala po akong political party. Lalo na ngayon that I'm holding a position as the director of NBI, kaya lahat po paglilingkuran natin. Wala pong political color to. Anybody na lumapit sa iyo na biktima ng krimen o ng injustice, ay kailangan po nating tulungan.
And we know that you are not a fan of the Vice President and you even called her a brat. What was the context of that statement and do you still stand by that statement?
Well, nung ano po tayo yan, columnist po tayo eh. And you and I know kung columnist tayo, you have opinions, your personal opinions and ideas. That yung para ka bang artist, yung idea, idinodrawing mo eh. Dahil naman sa atin mga columnists, sinusulat natin, hindi natin tinatago. Well, sinulat ko naman po doon, naka-layout naman eh. Yung mga nangyari, kung ano yung ginagawa niya, if she will not makuha yung hindi niya makuha, ganito yung gagawin niya. But I don't think we have to discuss it na in details right now that I'm serving na a political na organization, kung siya maging biktima rin ng, halimbawa, maging biktima ng fake news or pang-aabuso, I will be there to protect her and support her also. Pero kung siya rin naman yung mag-aabuso, I will not hesitate to investigate also and to recommend prosecution in that case.
And what do you think of her announcement of her presidential bid?
Well, I don't think I'm qualified to say that now. No? Pero right po niya yan eh. So we have to respect every right po. Na ganyan po. Ano po.
This early, pwede na ho ba namin kayo matanong, who will you support in the 2028 elections?
Well, I don't think I should do that because sabi ko nga, the National Bureau of Investigation is apolitical. And during election time, we are one of the guardians of the ballots. Kami po mag-i-enforce. In fact, I will be meeting with Chairman George Garcia in preparation for the election of barangay election. So, apolitical po tayo. We have to protect the sanctity of the ballot and the sanctity of the election. So, wala po tayo dapat sasabihin na susuportahan dyan. Ang magagawa ko lang po sa election na political ay bumoto lang po siguro. Ano po?
Related to that also because the Vice President is facing grave threats and inciting to sedition cases. So given your previous statements about her, how can you ensure fairness in handling these cases?
Well, unang-una, we will be very, very transparent in handling any cases. We will treat it hindi po different, the same standards for all the cases. Ano po? Ang ebidensya po yung titingnan natin, ay let me quote our ombudsman, no, na si Ombudsman Boying Rimulya, na kung ano po yung makita nating ebidensya at saan tayo dadalhin, ay doon po tayo pupunta.
And what role do you see, sir, the NBI would be playing in efforts to hold to account those involved in the flood control mess?
Well, in place naman na po yan. I'm very happy na dumating ako. May task force na po na ginagawa dyan. So, para sa akin, I will not do anything about it na pakialaman ko o galawin pa, mag-alis ng tao, maglagay ng tao. I will just monitor it and make sure na yung standard at saka yung rules at yung batas yung po yung sinusunod dyan. At kung sino man yung mga dapat na managot at kasuhan, ay kasuhan. At yung mga dapat maaresto, ay arestuhin po. At dalhin po sa hustisya yung ating pong mga ganyan na pangyayari po.
At meron hong ilang mga high-profile personalities na kasalukuyan ay pinaghahanap ng otoridad dahil sa mga kasong hinaharap. Among them, Atong Ang. Anong efforts po ang gagawin ng ahensya para matundon po siya?
I will be having a command conference meeting po tomorrow. Kanina po kasi turnover, then may mga courtesy, mga socials po ba. Pero tomorrow po will be really the start ng trabaho and I will make reports. Although ako personally may mga reports na po sa akin, but I rather not give details on that. Baka po mamaya magbigay pa tayo ng lead, baka iwas pa. So, but we will make sure that we'll bring them to justice. Ano po?
Bukas ho, gaganapin yung
May
meeting.
command conference po
Command
ako sa aking
conference.
mga deputy directors and assistant directors po.
Alright. Kumusta na ho pala yung disbarment case against Attorney Harry Roque, sir?
Well, now that you ask, meron na pong it was referred to the Integrated Bar of the Philippines and we were asked to submit our comments po. So that's the latest point. I think that this already been submitted for resolution after that.
Mabalik lang po ako dun sa special task force na create ho para doon sa flood control scandal. Ano ho ang particular na mga issue pa ang tingin nyo ay kailangan pang tutukan ng NBI pagdating dito sa investigasyon?
Well, dapat po siguro yung pong gathering ng evidence mas paigtingin pa kasi actually hindi ko nga po siya gagalawin pero I will make a directive na yung pong sa mga region palalimin po yung pagtingin doon. Pero we already been, I think I was informed by Secretary Bida na they will already define kung saan po talaga yung mga areas. So we will focus on that but we will entertain every claims po. Sabi ko nga, ang direction po rito lahat ng lead na binigay and in fact we're also referring to the news reports and everything. Titingnan po namin yan. Wala po kaming palalagpasin po doon.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong panahon. New NBI Chief Melvin Matibag, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And that's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Willard Cheng, sitting in for Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.